Today we are talking about Bondsman, the TV show on Amazon Prime. And let me say first, Brian, I like a little Kevin Bacon with the cigarette. Something about that hits real nice. So, uh, yeah, I really actually thought this show was pretty solid. I watched the first episode. Right away it felt realistic, as far as like I wasn't feeling like this was faked at all. I felt like I was in a legitimate, authentic world. However, as you watch the episode, you kind of doubt what reality is, which was kind of neat. And at about 7 minutes in, you had no idea what reality was and what it wasn't, because basically he gets killed and then he comes back alive, and or he somehow still survives. So it was very interesting. I'm just coming out hot with just like my quick thoughts here. But Brian, what did you think?
Well, first off, I think I think he might be a smoker in real life, or we're calling him smoked bacon. You know, it makes sense. No, that was corny. I apologize everyone for that one. That's uncalled for. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I think first off, what kind of drew my attention is I think that they're doing a lot of this practically. The makeup, which I enjoyed, the makeup, and I think I would love to look up. I should have, and I apologize to everybody. The makeup artist and the art production design, because they do a great job with the practical effects. I think practical effects are in a rise in the industry, and we're seeing it more and more. And I think it looks better on camera than the CGI stuff. And I think that work and hard work of those artists pays off in the artistry of that. That being said, I did think it was kind of funny too. This feels like R.I.P. PD with Ryan Reynolds, and ironically, Kevin Bacon is the bad guy in this, where Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges. Ryan Reynolds dies. I think he was a cop, but he comes back as like and works as like a cop, and it kind of feels like in the same vein of like these ghosts or these undead, these people who are dead existing in this world amongst the living. And with the cop element, I was like, oh, I'm like feeling, and he's like dead. He's got his throat slit, and he's just walking around smoking. And that was kind of like the RAPD kind of vibe that I was getting. It was almost kind of interesting to see him on the bad side spectrum, and then on this side, like have him be the good guy. And it's kind of like a mind trip for me because I keep seeing him in his prior role. And these two, at least for now, in the first episode, for me, they feel very similar. But I think Kevin Bacon's doing a good job. There's nothing really that's drawing me out of the story at all.
Yeah, and actually, I would say, when Brian and I watched The Penguin on the Max, we loved on the Max. Yeah, the Max. HBO. It's HBO.
The Max.
We loved the dynamic of Colin Farrell's character being this crime boss, and then the minute he comes home and sees his mom, he's just like completely brought back down to earth, and he is number two and she is number one. So this show had a little bit of that. I thought that was very cute and makes you get drawn into Kevin Bacon's character. And the cinematographer is Michael McDonough. He did Winter's Bone and The Leftovers. And then the editor, Nathan Gunn, worked on Walking Dead, Narcos, 1883, and The Blacklist. So you're talking about a good crew, an experienced crew of people behind the making of this. And I don't know I don't know how I can back this up with any concrete information, but I watched this and I go, oh, I bet this was shot very efficiently. It just looked like they just ripped it. And to your point about the practical, I was really liking it. It's certainly not PG-13. Let's be very clear about that. But I liked it. I am going to watch a couple more episodes. It's hard for me to ever move past the pilot, but I was not disappointed watching this show.
Yeah, man. I think it's it's real good to see just a real polished production. I think that it's definitely worth a watch and give it a try. I think it's going to be up people's alley, and we'll see Prime continues to put more and more legitimate projects out. But let us know what you think in the comment section. We appreciate you all watching. And as always, we'll see you next time.